Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Sky Factory 3. I hope you guys are all having a good day. I'm doing fantastic. So last episode we worked on the spawners a bunch. We're going to talk about those in a second when we get into the video. Jevinator challenge for this video is going to be 350 likes. If you guys beat the challenge, I'll give away a Steam game. So, let's go ahead and switch over and talk for a momento here. We're going to be doing some stuff with AE in just a second, so I've got all this junk in my inventory. Spawners are doing good. They're actually up and running, and we are getting massive amounts of spawner drops here. Look at all these 11k bones already. The one thing we're gonna have to pay close attention to really badly now is these guys. Is that one? Okay, so that one's full. Anyways, so the spawners are finished. Now, if you ever see me around these and you see items in there flying around like that piece of string there, that is because of my magnet mode, so don't worry about that. That is fine. Worked on the base a bunch. I got a lot of AE stuff done. We've got auto crafting tiers over here finished. And we are going to be working with these today a little bit, not a lot. Also kind of cleaned up the base a ton. Everything is nice and neat now. We got to finish cleaning that up in just a minute. And then remember when we built the top part of this, we were worried about how we were going to run the cables because there wasn't any space for it. Well, I added one layer to the top and bottom for that problem, and we're all good. So to start today's episode, I want to talk about pure certus. That's something that is a little bit harder to autocraft, and I think I have a good idea for it. So essentially, when we craft processors, everything is done for that. But what's not done for it is the fact that we need to make pure by itself. Once we can figure that issue out, we should be good to go. So what we're going to do first off is, I was checking. Good way to check your channels, by the way. Just run that cable. Put the cable down and see what it does. Where did that what? Oh, it went underneath of it. I'm like, what's going on? I am confused. Okay, anyways, so the first thing we're gonna do today is we need to auto craft these pure certus seeds. So what we'll do is we'll do that, and let's go ahead and put that into the auto crafting over here. There. So now it's gonna know how to make those seeds, and we want this to work, I guess, almost. When are we ever gonna need pure certus outside of processors? Almost never, right? I mean, we don't need that. We are never gonna make that. I'm never gonna make that. And this will be auto-crafted. Nah. Never make that recipe ever. Okay. So this is one of the reasons why I wanted auto-crafted as well. Okay. So what we need to do now is we need an interface. Do I have another interface? Okay, let's grab that. I'm also going to need a wrench. A wrench. There we go. Get the wrench. And so one thing we need to say is we need this setup right here. Change that to furnace. Put the 2 in there. And then put 2 in here. Craft that. So now it's going to be like, hey, I know what I'm doing. So we're going to use this machine that we just we made a couple episodes ago, that growth crystal chamber fancy dude dad thingy. There we go. Then we're going to put the interface down right there, and this is going to be a problem because I cannot see. Okay, perfect. I need oh, this is harder than I thought it was going to be. There we go. Everything is still connected. All right, so that's all into the system. So we want to put that there. So that's going to put that in there. We've already got crystal growth accelerators, so now we'll just need an import bus right there. Some cable down. And now we should have auto crafting of pure certus. So it's gonna know to make the seeds, then put it into the crystal growth accelerator. Okay, so it's making that. That does take a couple seconds to run through all that, and it uses massive amounts of power. Then the system's gonna import it back in there. Okay, so one of the harder things of AE is now auto crafted. Thank goodness. Sitting right there, but the system does not see it. That's a... I don't remember that being like that. What? Do I have another, like... Do I have another thing over here or something? Certus quartz seeds, sand, and dust. Okay. I'm a little confused as to why it's saying that. Here, let's cancel that and just see. Is there any other... Let's try that again. I mean, we know it's there. Why is it saying that? Start. Maybe that was a crafting from another... like another thing or something. That had to be. Yeah, I'm like... There's no way that did not just work. We literally sat there and watched it. Like, I'm not losing my mind, I promise. Okay, so that's that autocrafts the pure. Now the hard one. The hard one is going to be the fluix. I do have an idea for it. It's going to require some mumbo jumbo though that you're not ready to deal with. So that takes charged certus, nether quartz, and redstone. So what I'm thinking about doing is using an interface to shoot items into a dropper, and then from there we will use just water, and then I'll have an import or like an item filter. How would I want to pick those items up though? Let's see, item. No, we don't want that. We want that. We want that vacuum chest. Is there a way to filter these? Like, can we just like... Okay, so... Oh yeah, we can totally put an item filter in there. So fluix there. And then filter. And then put that there, take that out, put that in. So what we'll do is... we'll have that shoot that out into the water, and have the fluix be sucked in when it's ready. And so let me get that all set up, and I'll come back and show you what I got. Okay, guys, so I think I've got everything set up appropriately here. I got our cable running into the interface. I've got a clock next to a dropper, and then I've got a sealed off thing in there for water, and then I've got our filter for our fluix crystal. So we need, let's see, charged. And then we would need redstone. And then quartz. So those three will make fluix. Makes 2 fluix. There. 1, 2. Then I need a pattern. There, craft that. There we go. So I think that should do it. So put that in. Oh, trying to put the actual item in there. You're smart, iJevin. There we go. So now that that's in the system, fluix, craft, go. I want to watch it. My magnet mode might be the problem. Hold on, let me turn that off. So... why is that item vacuum not picking that up? So that can't pick up through blocks then? Okay. What about an ender hopper then? That thing we used before. A couple of those. Is there a way to put a filter on this thing? Not really. It kind of picks everything up, huh? Well... How else could I get that out of there? I wonder, what kind of hoppers do we have? Is there... I need something like a filtered hopper. Gated hopper. Rated. No. Blaze hopper. Can I don't know if that's what I want or not, to be honest with you. There. I don't know. I need something with a filter in it. Absorption hopper. So I'm assuming I can put items in there. And that might just be... I don't think that's what I want. How am I going to get that out of there? I wonder if I replace the glass with the hopper. If that'll be okay. Put that up. Put that right there. Put that right there. Extract. I think that might fix it, actually. Those in the system. And then we need to... Okay, so... fluix. There we go. Craft. Go. Go. I think that worked. I think it worked, boys. Fluix. Okay, so now that we have that... I want to quickly just go ahead and take care of the one other thing that we're going to need to do, which is that right there. Now, I don't know if I have a system that I can use that in. Wait, sag mill. That could work. Yeah. So there. So dust. There we go. There we go. There. Okay, fantastic. All right, so all of the harder stuff for AE is now finished. What I think I want to do now is I think I want to go through and just autocraft anything that requires that fluix and certus now. Just take my time and go through it. So like all those annihilation planes, and like any kind of cores or anything that we might need, I'm gonna get that all finished. All right, guys. So I kind of want to work on the reactor a little bit. We really just kind of set this thing and let it run for a while. The core heat and heating is not very good. If we can figure out a way to lower this, it'll make it generate more power. So right now, a baseline 12,500 RF per tick. I was watching some tutorials on YouTube about that, and apparently using diamond blocks is a great insulator. So let's start with like 30. So remember, 12,500. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that off, and then we need to go... I guess I would probably want to approach this from the top here. So let's go up. Oh, so it's like right there. Okay, good. So break all this out of here real fast. And let me make sure... I'm going to make sure that I got all of them in here. I don't think there's any more. That's the wall. Okay. I think we'll be okay to turn down the power for just a little while. I'm gonna start just by doing like maybe 2 of the inside pieces. Let's go like right here, right here, right here, and right here. There. There. So remember, 12,500. That's the magic number. And so this is just 4 walls here. And we'll see what it changes to. There we go. Oh my god. Oh my god. That, guys. Okay. So we had 12,500 using water. The core heat's already down. We went from 12,500 to 18,500. So we just gained 6,000 RF per tick by switching to that right there. Time to go back downstairs real fast, guys. Hold on. So here, how many diamonds do I actually have? Grab a bunch more of these. I need to pay attention not to run out. I don't want to use all my diamonds, of course. Put that back. There we go. So now that we have that, this is starting to run. So 18,500 again. Cancel that. Go up here. And so we did the middle ones. Let's do these right here now. Hopefully I have enough. If I have enough, I'll do the entire outside piece of it, but... There we go. Yeah, I don't know of any other cooling that we can put in here. Because, Extreme Reactors is, like, completely different now. Not completely different, but it's, you know, you understand. Go. Alright, so I need 3 more blocks. There. Alright, so we have officially, like, no diamonds left, which is bad, but we'll figure it out. Okay. Okay, so remember, 18,500. I am excited to see where this goes. There. Alright. Go. Wonder if it's gonna get any higher. Okay. So that really didn't do much. Like, honestly, I would probably even consider taking those out. I mean, it went up to basically another 1,000 for, like, quadruple the price, essentially. I don't think that's really worth it. But I will definitely, oh, let me turn my magma back on. Did I broke all of them, okay. There. I've actually got an idea. Hold on. Let me put these middle ones back in real fast. Those back in. I wonder if that applies to, like, any block. So when we had this thing completely filled up with diamonds, it was 19,700. So... down. Let's do something like iron. No problemo. 64 right there, baby. Alright. So remember, our core temperature was 19, or not core temperature, but our temperature was 19,700 with diamonds in there. And remember, we cannot vein mine. But it's not good. Come on, let me fly. There we go. Really interested to see what this is, because that's so much more power. That's like, it's really a noticeable difference. Okay. I almost wonder if I do the outside, if it'll make any difference. There. So we had 19,700. Okay, so with the iron blocks, it gains roughly about 500, 600 RF per tick. I would much rather use the iron blocks in there rather than the water. So, but I'll definitely take 19,000 RF per tick rather than the 15 that we were using, or 12 that we had. That is like an extremely good upgrade. There we go. By the way, throw all that away. I got a lot of stuff auto-crafted. So let's start here. It's like all the typical AE stuff. Annihilation cores, all the interfaces, export buses, import buses, all the cards, and then some of the cables and stuff. All right, guys, I think that's probably going to do it for this episode. I'm really starting to get back into this series. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I'm really having a lot of fun. So I hope you guys all have a good one. Thank you all for watching. This is iJevin. Peace out, everybody.